Welcome to another video of Sonic Gazelle Pilots. Today we are going to fly the Asobo Boeing 747 from Rotterdam to Brussels on a short haul and explain everything from setting up the CDU to takeoff, navigating and doing an ILS approach. So let me jump into the plane. We are in the cockpit and the first thing we want to do is to program the CDU. So I'll click Shift F4. And here we have the initialization page. The first thing you want to do is click on POS init, position initialization, and you will see that we have actually the GPS coordinates of our current position, so that is very fine and very nice. So in the reference airport we are going to type in the IATA code of Rotterdam, which is Echo Hawaii Romeo Delta, and you can click just next to ref so that it's imported, and automatically we've got the GPS coordinates of Rotterdam Airport. Next we are going to click on route, and as you can see we don't have an origin and a destination. That's because I have planned my flight in Navigraph charts. You can also plan your flight with SimBrief, import it into the electronic flight bag and then send it to the avionics here, but I will pop up Navigraph charts. So when I click on Navigraph charts in the electronic flight bag, I will get the routes that I have pre-planned. Not going to go in detail of how to plan a route in Navigraph charts, but basically the line here on the screen is the route that we have, and what I do is click on export and load as active flight plan, and then we will have the origin Echo Hawaii Romeo Delta to Echo Bravo Bravo Romeo, which is our full flight plan. And then you would have to click on activate, but apparently this one is active in this example. Next thing that you want to do is to go to departure and arrival, and you will see that the SID is actually already in the CDU. If you go to flights, you will see that I have programmed the INK2 Alpha departure on runway 6, and we have INK2A departure on runway 6. It's important that you click on execute to activate it. And going back to index and going to arrival, you will see that I have the Woody 8 Alpha star standard arrival, on runway 25 right, and I have the Woody 8A selected and the ILS 25R. Click on execute. Next that we want to do is go to the init ref page, and our cruise altitude will be 12,000 feet or flight level 120. You can type 12,000 or 120. If you type 120, it will automatically convert it to 12,000 feet. The zero fuel weight can be simply found by clicking on the left. Zero fuel weight will appear in the scratch pad, and then you enter it by clicking again on zero fuel weight. Same for reserves. For reserves, what we will do is actually say we have a reserve of 1 ton. So I click 1 and I enter it into the reserves. Our cost index, that's actually a measure of how much fuel we want to consume, and this influences the price of our flight. It goes anywhere between 0 to in the hundreds. I'll do a quite effective cost index of 100, and I put it in here. And then we cycle further with the bottom right bottom. So thrust limits, that's actually information that's not really relevant for us. And then we go to takeoff. Takeoff, we'll set the flaps of 10 degrees. Just don't forget to put your flaps on 10 degrees later on. And thrust is not really necessary. The center of gravity is for trimming the plane. So again, you can click on the left side. You can click on the left side and you'll have the trim value for trimming the plane. And then we go to performance init again, and we are back at the initialization where we had our cruise altitude of 12,000 feet. So that's a very quick way of going through the CDU. I just want to make sure. I saw a message takeoff speeds deleted. I just want to make sure, and I go back to departure and arrival to see if the takeoff speeds are still effective. Here they are. Well, you can see a little arrow next to the takeoff speeds. So what I will do is click on the button to activate them. 143 is the rotate speed. That's where we pull on the lever to take off. Activate it. And 164 is the speed that you have to have when you climb. So I click on it and it's active. And with this, the CDU is completely configured. We can do a flight check. If I go to legs, you have all the legs of the flight, and you can, with next page, scroll through it. Previous page, I'm back at the beginning. Important is, it says now modify. Modify means the legs are still being programmed. To activate them, you have to click on exec, and now it becomes active. We are going to cycle through these by using the map, the plan. If you go to this button and turn it to plan, and we change the range a little so that we zoom out and see the complete route on the primary flight display. Here you have it, the complete route on the primary flight display. And what I can do now is step through it. So my plane is at the center of this circle, and when I go here and I go to next step, you will see that we jump through the routes, and we just check that there's no discontinuities, which is the case here. Then I can place back on map. Let me see. Map. And I will put the range again a little lower. And you can see the purple line is on the runway. Everything is just perfect. So we can continue and go to the central pedestal. So I'm going to the central pedestal by clicking Shift 3. And here we have everything to organize our vertical speed, climb and descent, and lateral navigation following the route. So the first thing that we do is at altitude, we set our altitude to 12,000 feet. So I rotate the knob and bring this to 12,000 feet. And then we are going to make the plane climb by a rate of 2,500 feet per mile. So we click on VS and we scroll here until it comes on plus 2,500. So that's what we tell the plane to do. Make a steady climb of 2,500 feet per minute after takeoff. But we want to intercept the route and have then automatically the computer doing the climb rate, respecting the constraints of the SID. So we engage VNAV. So once we took off and intercepted the route, VNAV will take over from our vertical speeds. That's the first thing that you want to do. Then we are departing on runway 6, as you can see here. Runway 6 has a bearing of 60 degrees, so in heading we are going to put 60 degrees. Heading, you can turn on the knob let me see here, and we'll put it to the bearing of our runway, which is 60 degrees. Having done that, you want to click on hold, so that, no, not on hold, sorry, you will click on hold, yes, and then again, like before, when we intercept the purple route, we want the navigation, the horizontal navigation, to follow the route and to be managed by the computer, so we activate LNAV from lateral navigation. Then auto thrust, we want our plane to manage the thrust of the engines so that we can maintain a steady speed. Auto thrust is armed. You can flip this to put it off, but it should be armed, and we set our speed to 250 knots. This airplane can go 500 knots, but that's more useful for a transatlantic flight and not for a short haul from Rotterdam to Brussels. And then you engage speed. And with that, the plane is ready for takeoff, which we are going to do right now. So I go back in the cockpit seat, and I'll check the runway. We are ready for takeoff. So the takeoff procedure starts now. I disengage the parking brake and apply a little bit of thrust to center the airplane on the runway. That should be effective enough, and then we can apply full throttle. And we manage our speed here on the left hand side. We monitor our speed. V1 and V rotate. And once we are airborne, I will retract the landing gear and engage autopilot, which is the button.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
Autopilot is right here.
Landing gear.
And with that, the plane will start following the purple line, which you can see here. If I zoom it out a little, you will see that we will take a right-hand turn right there. We are in autopilot mode, and the plane will start following that line. And you can see, as we reached our first turn in the route, our airplane nicely makes the right-hand turn. So autopilot is working perfectly. As you can see also from the outside, the airplane can take quite a steep turn, even at low speeds, such as we are now. We are currently flying at 250 knots, as you can see here. I will be back when we reached 12,000 feet, which is our cruising altitude. We are still climbing from 4,900 at a steady rate to 12,000 feet. It will level off automatically at 12,000. I'll be back when we level off at 12,000 and explain what we'll do next. Welcome back. You can see on the primary flight display we are over 10,000 feet. So I just wanted to show that autopilot will level off at 12,000 feet because we are in VNAV mode and we have set 12,000 feet here at our altitude. So you will see that this caret will come down and we will level off at 12,000 feet. Which happens right now. There comes a bracket around the 12,000 feet. The thrust reduces and the climb level stops to stabilize at 12,000 feet. Now we want to descend respecting the constraints of our star from the moment that we reach the top of descent. So I expect on the primary flight display to have a TOD marker, which is the top of descent, and there VNAV would take over and start descending respecting the constraints. But top of descent does not always appear on the map. Sometimes it's buggy, and I suppose that we should have top of descent a bit before Woody. If we don't have a top of descent before Woody, I'll be right back at Woody. Then we'll do a managed, we'll do our descent ourselves. So I'll be back in a minute. Now, while I'm in the skies enjoying the view, let me explain a little bit about the constraints for descending. If I have a look here at the chart and bring up the arrival chart as an overlay, then you will see that there are some constraints for the descent. For instance, over the waypoint ANT, we have to be above flight level 70. So what we want is to have a descent that brings us down to lower altitude, and that still yet the airplane knows that it does not have to go under 7,000 feet at ANT. Now VNAV is going to take care of that. All we have to do is set our intended altitude, and for that we have to look at the ILS chart. So if I open the chart of the ILS, you will see that we will have to be on waypoint Bravo 25 Romeo Frankfurt at an altitude of 2,000 feet. So what I can do already is set the altitude, the intended altitude, to 2,000 feet. And that's what I do right now. Takes ages to scroll down. So 2,000. Also, we want to prepare our ILS, our instrument landing system approach. For that again, I'll go to the map and I'll tune in to the flight computer the frequency of our ILS, which is 108.9, and we also need the bearing, which is 244 degrees. So what I do now is I go to the RadNav page, NavRad, and I type in, well, it's already here, 108.90 and an angle of 245. Well, that's almost 244. Now let me go quickly back and bring up the screen by clicking on Alt. You can see here we have the top of descent icon on our route. So soon enough we will reach it. Make sure that VNAV is activated, this one, and normally the computer will start descending, maintaining over 7,000 feet above, and well, here it says 8,000, but on the Navigraph chart it said 7,000, and going all the way to 2,000 at the final approach fix. So this is happening now. We should soon enough see that the plane starts to descend once we reach the top of descent. If it doesn't start descending, I'll do a manual descent. So we are halfway the turn. The top of descent has been completed, taking into consideration the weight of the plane, the cruise altitude, and the final approach fix altitude. So I want to watch here if we start descending once we reach top of descent in a few moments. And you can see the plane starts descending automatically. It reduces altitude. Normally it should also manage the speed, which is quite high right now. But you can see this caret here. It's following the caret to go down. I expect the plane to reduce speed also. So I'll monitor the speed. Maybe I'll have to manually reduce it. As you see, the next waypoint, BUN, Bravo Uniform number, we have to be above 3000 feet. So I'll be back before we reach the final approach fix. See you in a moment. Also, I want to reduce the speed, so I click on this button and I scroll down to bring it down for the moment to 250 knots. And I'll apply some speed brake. Welcome back. We are inbound to our final leg. As you can see here, the final leg is going straight to the runway. What I'll do now is I'll reduce the speed to 180, which is the landing speed. Put the gear down. Set the flaps to 40%. And I'll click on Alt gear and click on the primary flight display. As you see, the final approach fix is Bravo 25 Romeo Foxtrot. We have to engage localizer and approach before that to do an ILS landing. So let us just continue a little bit and take the next turn, and then we'll do that. So I'll wait for the plane to take a sharp turn to the right. Which starts now. Go back into the cockpit. And once you are at an angle of less than 30 degrees to the final leg, you can engage the localizer. So that means that horizontally it will start following the flight, the landing slope, and also before the final approach fix, which is B25 Romeo Foxtrot, you engage approach with this knob. will see that the 3 autopilots have gone on. We continue a little bit to our final approach fix, and then we should see a caret, which is the glide slope, appear on the primary flight display. You're going very slowly, 180 knots, so it might take a minute before we reach the final approach fix. You can also see that there's the letters GS in white. That means it's armed but not active yet. The glide slope will become active at the final approach fix. The caret has gone magenta. We have to intercept the glide slope, so it will now come down, and once it's at the center, the plane will start descending automatically. I can get rid of this screen, and the caret is nearing the center, so we will start losing height automatically at this point. And the runway is in front of us. So we have catched the ILS. Beautiful fields of Flanders, Belgium, near Brussels. In a misty winter morning. We will do the landing manually, of course, so we will have to disengage auto throttle at the last moment and disengage autopilot with this white button here. Soon we should see the runway in front of us. I see a bit here. I'll disengage auto thrust now. And I'll disengage autopilot. And gently touch down. And apply the brake. So this was the full short video of flying the Asobo Boeing 747 from takeoff to landing. You're welcome to subscribe to my channel for other videos, and if you learned something, please hit the like button. You can also give me a comment, as we are coming to a standstill at Brussels. See you in the next video. Bye bye. Have a good day.